What's up, guys? Welcome to the Patreon exclusive episode of the GameOverGreggy show for April 2017. I'm Tim Gettys, as always, joined by the one and only Mal Smith.
Oh my God, thank you for having me.
AKA Maliv on Twitter?
Yes,
Malive?
correct.
How do you pronounce it?
Malive.
Okay, what? Why?
M-A-L-I-V-E. I don't know. It was a nickname that I was given at one point.
Okay.
It was, at first it was Malice, because like I was blonde, blue-eyed, Alice in Wonderland, but like cooler than Alice in Wonderland. And then it became, my friend said Maliv, and then it became my Twitter handle because it was 2009, and that's what you did.
And that's how things happen.
You know what? In the early days, you never think of like, I should probably get my name.
This should probably be a brand, except for people like Veronica Belmont, who just has @Veronica.
That's just, that's the dream, but like at Mal, that's not gonna happen.
It ain't gonna happen. If I had
that's
Tim, I would have been so stoked. Oh my God. But like, I'm okay with @Tim Gettys. I'm happy I got that. Unlike Nick _Scarpino. Have you heard the Nick Scarpino story?
No.
Well, let me tell you Nick Scarpino story. So here's the deal. You know our Nick Scarpino. You've hung out with him many times.
Yes.
He's a charming man, to say the least. He was late to all of social media because he's old. An old man, right? Old. So he got Nick _Scarpino. We then find out that there's Nick Scarpino, @Nick Scarpino, who has that. And it's some dude with this purple background. I'm like, okay, you look like you're a professional. Like your pictures look real and like everything about you. He had NickScarpino.com. He had Nick Scarpino Instagram. He had Nick Scarpino everything. Some dude that worked at Google.
Okay.
I'm like, all right, well, you lost star, Nick.
Yeah.
Like you were Nick #2, right? So we kind of turned that into a joke over time. And, you know, when we first started the show, a lot of people would tweet at the wrong Nick Scarpino. The most just like insulting things because they're talking about things Nick said. Oh, yeah. To this other guy. And this other guy's like, what the fuck? Right? Anyway, then one day, and he kind of got in on the joke. So he was a cool dude. Now, you know the hot dog restaurant Portillo's?
I'm acquainted.
Okay, good. So Greg Miller, huge fan of that. It's from Chicago. He's from Chicago. He's named his wiener dog Portillo after the restaurant.
Yes.
So like he's a big fan. He's an enthusiast, as you would say.
Okay.
One day Greg Miller wakes up and gets an email because he's on the Portillo's newsletter.
That makes sense.
Saying that Portillo's hired a new head of marketing.
Oh shit.
Nick Scarpino.
Oh my God.
Now he immediately is like, what the hell? Like, is this some joke? Because he thought it was our Nick. Yeah. Nope, it's the other Nick. Small world. The other Nick is now the head of marketing at Portillo's. So we can't hate him anymore. But he still has the correct.
He has the handles. Yeah.
And we went to Chicago. We went to Portillo's with him. And he hooked us up. And now Greg Miller has an autographed picture up on the wall. Portillo's. That's an achievement. He made it.
Of course.
He made it.
That's how you know you really achieved.
You really did something good. So for those of you back home, first off, thank you for supporting us and making this whole crazy thing happen, including this crazy studio where we can be at Disneyland if we want to. And I don't even have a season pass.
This isn't really Disneyland?
No, it's not. You can tell, but instead of the churro smell, the Kevin smell, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. But the background for you on Mal here is back on March 18th, 2014. So pretty much 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. Oh, shit. I did a topic on the GameOverGreggy show on episode 15. Who should you follow on Twitter? And I said you. Me. Because you were funny as hell.
Oof, we're funny as that's fine. I can take a hint. I can take a hint.
You're funny.
It's fine. Whatever.
So who are you? What's your story?
I'm Mal Smith. We've been friends for what, like 3-4 years now?
At least 3.
Oh yeah, that's 3 years ago. So 4. It must be 4.
When we first met, Fast and Furious 6 wasn't even out yet.
That's an entirely different universe.
Because I remember one of the first nights we met, we were hanging out, and I made sure you had not seen any Fast and Furious movie. I hadn't seen a single movie. And I made sure to explain to you the entire story.
Not just like, oh, in this movie this happens. Like it was a 2-hour lecture on the franchise as a whole and the extended universe of that.
Exactly. And now
I've seen all the movies.
And you're a huge
fan.
I
haven't seen Fate of the Furious yet. I'm not special. Well, I wasn't in Vegas this weekend.
By the time this goes live, people will have seen it already.
They know more than I do now, and that crushes me.
What happens to Dom? Why would he betray them?
But I just don't get it. It's his family, and they mean so much.
They'll figure it out. They'll get through this. They can get through anything.
Charlize has dreads.
Why does she have dreads?
That's how you know she's evil. She's a white person with dreads.
That's true. That's true.
How you know she's evil. I
can't name any of those that aren't evil.
Exactly.
So yeah, we met a long time ago.
Yes.
And when we met, let's see. We met at, I think us meeting is a very interesting story. We're not going to get into all of the details of it.
That's fine.
But the basis of the story is it was San Diego Comic-Con 2013, 2013. I'm not sure. Probably 13.
13?
You,
13.
A frequenter of Comic-Con.
It's a home away from home.
How many times have you been there?
Oh, okay. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Holy shit. I've been 8 times. This will be my 9th year.
Oh my God. And you go from the fan side of things.
Yes.
You have to wait and pay
I
and do
straight
all
up have turned down opportunities to work like booths and do shit like that because I'm like, I don't want to work. I'm there. That's like my vacation for that month. Like I am there to experience everything and do everything and do all the fun stuff. I don't want to like work. No.
Yeah, no. So I've only been there from work. So this was back when I was still at IGN, and it was one of the first years we did the big IGN live show where it was like a big live stream or whatever. And there's also IGN parties every year. And I've said this many times on the shows. The IGN Comic-Con party is like one of my favorite things of the year. It's the best Comic-Con party for sure. It's awesome. It's the best Comic-Con party because there's like the EW party and there's all this other stuff, but like those are impossible to get into. No. If you do get in, it's a bunch of celebrities, which is cool for a while, but you're not allowed to freak out about it.
Exactly. You can't freak out about it, and you can't. You're gonna be on guard because I'm like, I don't want to make an ass out of myself in front of these people.
Yeah.
You can't like let loose.
And that's why the IGN Comic-Con party is so good because it's a lot of normal people. And then there is celebrities, but there's more normal people. So you're allowed to freak out about it. You're allowed to be like, oh shit, that's, what's the girl from American Pie, the blonde one?
Tara Reid.
Tara Reid. Like, oh shit, that's Tara Reid. Hey, Tara Reid. And she's like, hey, I'm
that was like a spot on Tara Reid impression.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
It's like, I can tell you've practiced.
But anyway, she was fantastic the one time I met her. But so we meet at this party, which was super awesome, and
it was great.
Mainly me and my IGN friends, and then like a bunch of other random people that just like worked the event, and then other IGN extended fam,
basically.
But for you, you were there because you got tickets. Edgar Wright was doing a bar crawl.
Oh my God, yeah,
in San Diego to promote his movie, The
World's End.
The World's End, which I always confuse with This Is the End.
Yeah.
Which came out the same year, I think.
2 different post-apocalyptic drinking movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
There's always 2. 2 Snow Whites, 2 post-apocalyptic drinking movies.
Why was there 2 Snow Whites? And why were neither of them
good?
Disney?
And neither of them were good.
It was so upsetting.
That's fine.
So you were doing this bar crawl to promote the movie, right? Like,
yeah,
as a fan.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, that'll be something fun to do today. Like free booze. Like stuff for a movie I want to see. Like it was just like something to do.
Yeah. So you did that, and at the end they're like, "Oh, everyone that's still here gets to go to this IGN party."
No, what happened? No, oh, there was somebody that one of my friends I was with was flirting with some guy at IGN all night, and he was like, "Oh, after this, you guys should come to this party."
Who?
I don't remember.
Fuck! How do you just leave me hanging like that?
I just remember. I remember. She texted us like, oh, just drop this guy's name. And I want to say it was like, I don't know. All white guys have like the same fucking name.
Yeah.
It was like,
No, it wasn't Sean Finnegan. The Sean Finnegan, Alex Salamita side, that was a later addition.
Well, the thing, my first thought was Sean, but maybe it's because all those names kind of blur together.
Yeah,
I had a few drinks.
Yeah.
And, but I just remember we gave the girl at the front a name, and then she just goes like, the one with the beard or the one without a beard? And then we're just like, the one with the beard. Like, gotta be confident about it. The one with the beard.
The one with the beard.
And they were just like, oh yeah, sure, come on in. And then it was like, perfect. Whoa. Walked right in.
I really wonder who it was. I mean, it must have been someone on the sales team.
I have no idea.
At that point, because it was the thing was co-sponsored by IGN.
Yeah.
That like bar crawl or whatever.
Yeah.
And like that would have been it wouldn't have been anyone that we hung out with and knew. I still want to know.
I wonder if
there's any way we could like Facebook stalk backwards and find it. We'll do.
Oh, I'm sure it's got to be somewhere on the internet. I'll figure it out.
Okay, so we go to this party. You guys get in. Yes. So I was under the assumption it was everyone that did the bar crawl.
No.
Wow.
I'm just really good at getting into parties.
Which is just go get Mike. Yeah. Go get Mike. So you and your friends, like you had a little squad with you at that time.
I did.
Right. So that squad, you guys all kind of are just at this party. We're all hanging out and everyone's having a good time. Now, the thing I want to point out.
Yeah, there's an important detail.
That you were in cosplay.
100%, yes.
As?
I was in cosplay as Envy Adams from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World because, like, you know, my friend was Ramona. She already had the blue hair. It was perfect.
You had blonde hair
I was blonde
at
at
the
the time. I wasn't this beautiful shade of pastel pink. But I had been blonde forever. So I was blonde at the time, and then we were Ramona and Envy Adams. And
which was perfect. And you guys, specifically knowing her,
yes.
I'm like, all right, you were Ramona to the damn core.
She is Ramona Flowers.
Right? And you you were nailing it. And you guys, it was I remember when I first came up to you guys, I was like, oh shit, like you guys look great. Like you're nailing the cosplay here. And you're probably the only people in cosplay at this party.
I think so.
Because most of the people there were like professionals after their day of work and they're just hanging out. Or
and like basically this girl hadn't texted us to come to this party, and it was like 6:37, and we were like, we could go all the way back to our hotel and change, and we're like, we're already downtown. Our hotel at the time was like a couple blocks away, so we're just like, nah, fuck it, we'll go and Scott Pilgrim cosplay. It's just like, it's not like we were wearing like props and stuff. It's just clothes.
Yeah, it was just clothes. And I guess you're right.
It's just like styling. If you didn't know what Envy Adams looked like, you would just think I had like little pigtails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you guys did that, but what is everything cool, Kev? Is everything cool?
Sorry, this morning show's on the right channel.
Oh. And it has a lot of views. Yeah.
A lot of views?
I don't know. Did you check the copyright stuff though? Is it okay there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. Good news. At least we tested it somehow. This is how the show goes. We're allowed to do whatever the hell we want. There's no rules. No rules at all.
You make the rules.
We make the rules. Anyways, you guys are cosplaying as Scott Pilgrim characters.
Correct.
I was a big fan of Scott Pilgrim at the time. That's why I think I started talking to you guys. I was like, this is fucking awesome. You guys are cool. We had a great time. Now, the interesting thing about this, skipping ahead a lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
Years later, your friend starts dating someone.
Yes.
That someone
is Brian Lee O'Malley,
who is
the creator of Scott Pilgrim.
How did they meet?
The way any modern person meets anybody. They met on Tinder.
So, and they are still together.
They're still together. They live together. They're very happy. They have a little animal family.
2 years strong?
Yeah, 2 years. They just went on their 2-year anniversary trip.
So Brian Lee O'Malley, creator of Scott Pilgrim, now writer and creator of Snot Girl, which is fantastic.
It's amazing.
If you aren't reading Snot Girl, you got to do it. There's only 5 issues so far.
Yeah, volume 1 is out now. Go get it.
But this is one of those like unbelievable stories.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I go from meeting you guys, cosplaying as these characters, to now one of you.
That's straight up
intimately familiar.
That's straight up some fanfic
with
shit.
the creator of the thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So how has that affected your life? Like, I mean, you guys hang out all the time?
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
It's my best friend. Like, she's my best friend in the entire world. We do hang out all the time. It's not weird anymore. For the first maybe year, it was definitely weird. In that I couldn't separate it in my brain. Like, I have Scott Pilgrim prints framed in my apartment that are signed from him from 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's hard to sometimes remember that those two people are the exact same person. The exact same person.
Yeah, I mean, so that like,
he's a sweetheart.
It entirely blows my mind. But what blows my mind the most is the fact that I love Snot Girl, and I've been reading it since it first came out. And for people that don't know, Snot Girl is it's a comic book that's essentially the story of this Instagram model.
Yeah, she's like a fashion blogger.
Influencer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a modern era Tim Gettys, right?
Yeah.
And it's her going through her trials and tribulations and like the group of friends she hangs out with, and they're hella LA and all that stuff, right?
LA.
I can't help but feel like it's the story of your guys' life. When I'm reading this, I'm like, this is based off of Mal and her friends.
I mean, like, it's not. It's 100% not. But you can't.
I don't believe that.
You're never going to believe that, especially because, like, my friend Mary, she's definitely had, like, that exact green hair. She's definitely, a lot of the wardrobing is influenced. But it's not. It's him, and it's also Leslie Hung who does all the art for it, and they do collaborate on the stories and the writing. So it's a lot of her, too.
It's just all of it. It's such a small world. So I have a friend, Emerise. Do you know her?
No.
You guys might
I'm sorry, I don't know all your friends.
It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. But she does cosplay now too, and she cosplays as Snot Girl.
That's so awesome.
Like, this is such a weird connection
it's such
of
a
just
small
everyone
world.
and she apparently knows Leslie.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm like, I don't know how life is weird. Life is weird.
It's
So okay, so we
small.
meet. That all happens. That was one of those like crazy stories.
Yeah.
When the time I meet you, you are still in college.
Correct.
At
USC.
which is fancy film school.
100%.
Right?
It is fancy film school.
When I met you, the night I met you, you were like, I want to be a writer and a director. Have you written or directed anything?
I've written a bunch of stuff. One thing that's gotten made, which is
congratulations.
Great. Thank you.
You did something.
Yeah.
And I think that is the important part of this, because when I first met you, I was like, all right, you're really funny and you have a lot of talent and skill to be able to do these things. Yeah. And I was always scared that you weren't going to do anything. And so I'm proud of you.
You and me both.
That we are now here and you're on a podcast and you have your own podcast.
I do.
Which, let's pimp that out.
I was saying my podcast is A Few Beers In. It's me and my co-host Lauren Puga, where it's just a pop culture podcast, but we play a drinking game every week. Super fun stuff.
Drink different beer.
Yeah, drink a different beer every time. Lagunitas IPAs. That's fine. I mean, it's not like
normal.
the best.
You usually drink some weird shit.
We do. We try and do something different every time, and we've done like 80 episodes now, and so that's like 160 beers. And like at a certain point, it's hard to find new shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of seasonals, we've ventured into like sours and goses and all different types of beer. Beer is really cool, guys.
I never drank beer. I am just not a beer guy up until recently, because Greg Miller is such a beer person. I'm with him all the time. Like I'm just like
you got peer pressured.
Then it's like it hit the point where it's just like I used to drink more like cocktaily drinks and stuff, and it's just
that's hard to maintain.
The problem is I'm a quantity guy when it comes to liquids, so it just reaches a point where like, I'm done with my drinks so quickly, and like he has this big ass cup. I'm like, I need to do this beer thing. Yeah,
because you want to be sipping on something constantly, as opposed to just like a drink you're gonna just like have. It's gonna be gone like that.
Yeah, just inhale it.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm trying this. We'll see how it goes.
IPAs are fine.
I'm a big IPA guy though. Yeah. I found that out. I can't do the light stuff.
You're a white man with a beard. It's kind of.
I am a white man with a beard. It is. It is.
Yeah.
You know. So okay. Speaking of white men with beards, they are the successful ones in Hollywood, right?
100%.
So it sounds like it would be hard for you to kind of break in to this whole thing.
Yeah, it's a little harder to get your stuff read. Just literally, I feel like I have a gender neutral enough name that kind of helps me. But I do also have a writing partner who has a very feminine name. I'm not blaming her, but and I do have like a very feminine perspective. So I guess that's like my own fault for being a lady.
You had a 50-50 shot.
I know.
You know? Then the beard was another 50-50.
I know. And then
God
it's
bless
like
those guys that can't get beards.
Just patches.
I wouldn't
That's
know it.
just
Like
a
Kevin.
shame.
Bless his soul. Giving Kevin shit's part of the show as well.
Kevin
I feel just like left us at this point.
I was going to say, he's
here,
not there.
So.
I went to side eye and it was just like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not as fun when you can't see his face.
So, okay, so you're doing the podcast where you talk about TV and movies and Star Wars a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Star Wars is a big part of my life.
So you are a big Disney person,
yes,
obviously, whether that is Marvel and
the whole
like
Disney
comics
family
as well, but then also Star Wars and classic Disney proper, Pixar, all that, and then of course Disneyland.
My one true
love.
So
it really is your one true love.
It is.
Now, everyone at home knows I love Disneyland with all of my heart. And they all know that I have my group of friends that is like just utterly in love with Disney, but we all live in SF. So like they're the type of people that have annual passes even though they don't live in LA.
Yeah, because even if you get just like one of the lowest level annual passes, if you go 2 or 3 times, it pays for itself.
The lowest level annual pass is like what, $700, $800?
Okay, but it's also like $200 to go for the day. So I guess it's like 3 or 4 times.
That's true, but then so the most expensive annual pass, which is the one without blackout dates, all the convenient dates you'd want to go, is what?
Like 11, and then the one. Well, no, there's one that's 12 now, and then the one right below it is 11, and that's the one I have because the only blackout dates on that one. It's the exact same pass, but the only blackout dates are the last 2 weeks of December, and it's like I couldn't justify. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need those.
Yeah. Like I'll just wait.
Yeah. Of course, though, like my birthday is December 21st, so it's like I fall right in those 2 weeks of blackout dates, which is so sad for me, but also it's a lot of money.
But you represent to me the true Disneyland fan that I would aspire to be, but that you are who my friends would be if they lived in LA.
Oh yeah.
Because like your Instagram all day, every day, same Instagram same name as Twitter. I just
no. I know. I couldn't get Maliv on anything else, so all my other things are the same, which is Mal S. Smith. And then it's just Twitter.
Mal S. Smith.
I know. Guys, Smith is the worst last name to have if you're looking for a handle. It's terrible. It's
with a double S.
I know. It hurts. It hurts.
But anyways, you post Instagram pictures from Disneyland
all the time.
All the time.
It's become like pretty much weekly. Because I mean, it's so easy to just be like, especially if you have an annual pass, it's not hard to be like, oh, I have like half a day. Like, I'll just go down for dinner and then come back. But
so that's what you do. So what do you do? Because I had this question. As much as I love Disneyland, and I do very, very much, and there's so much about it that I am all about when it comes to the production of things, the shows, so many of the rides I love forever. Yeah. But I can't fathom needing to go that much. Like, I am definitely a once a year, I gotta do it. Yeah. For sure.
You'll just start like itching.
And if there was something new, I'd be like, all right, I gotta go for the New World of Color or the Guardians of the Galaxy ride or something like that. But what keeps you coming back?
I mean, I don't know. It's just something, it's literally will be like, I could either like, me and my friends could either go get drinks at like a bar downtown, or we could just like drive an extra 20 minutes and go get drinks at Cove Bar and then be just like have the exact same experience, but also I get to like sit in front of the castle or I get to sit in front of the Ferris wheel.
At the Tiki Room every 5 seconds with that volcano splash thing that happens.
Yeah. But like,
it's not annoying.
A little bit. But it's, I don't know, it's just something, it's so convenient at this point. It's something I love in a place I love to be. There's always something to do. I don't necessarily like, I won't go on a ride necessarily every time I go. And I won't go, and it's not like I'm going the entire day usually, because like that would be, if I'm going the entire day every week, that gets a little boring because it gets repetitive. It's like the same stuff. Yeah. But it's like if I go for like 3 or 4 hours and I just go to California Adventure, then next weekend I'm just like, oh, I'll just go to Disneyland for a few.
You're so funny. I love it so much. So I want to hear more details about this because I never get to talk to somebody that gives a shit about Disneyland. I've talked on the GameOverGreggy show so many times and it's always like, and no one wants to fucking indulge me.
That's so sad.
You, I'm sure, will indulge me.
100%.
So tell me about Disneyland in the last couple of years. There's been a lot of changes when it comes to the fireworks shows and the this and that and RIP Tower of Terror. Let's start there. Yeah. Tower of Terror has been there for
since California Adventure opened.
Yep. So forever. And it originally started out in Disney World.
Yes.
And the Hollywood Studios area, whatever. Have you been to Disney World?
I have. I went once when I was 8 years old. Okay. I'm going again in 2 weeks from the day we're recording this.
If you're going there in 2 weeks, does that mean you're going to Star Wars Celebration?
Fuck yeah, I'm going to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, shit. How stoked are you about that?
Oh, my God, I'm so excited. I wasn't able to go when it was in Anaheim 2 years ago, just like scheduling issues. And I happened to be out of town for part of it and I was super sad. And so this time, now that it's back in Orlando, we're going to Star Wars Celebration and then going to spend the next few days doing like a full 4 days at Disney World.
Oh my God. So I've never been to Disney World. I need to make that happen at some point. I want to go and hit it hard.
Yeah, you have to, like, we're going and we're doing everything. We did all the, like, Disney World is, I'm realizing, so much different than Disneyland because, like I'm saying, I have a very casual attitude towards Disneyland now. It's like, oh, I'll just go, I'll grab dinner, I'll grab drinks. Disney World is, like, straight up, you get an email 6 months out being like, you need to make your dinner reservations today. Yeah. And, like, we made our Fast Pass reservations a month ago.
Wow. Yeah. See, that doesn't sound fun. I'm happy that I have the friends that I do because they are the type of people that they're like, all right, we're going to Disneyland. We're going to be there the moment it opens. We're leaving the moment it closes. And we're going to, here's the path. Here's the battle plan. Here's the trading system for the fast passes that we're going to be so efficient. I don't know that for Disney World. I don't know anyone that knows that. So I need the inner circle there.
Yeah. You know? I have a friend that we're going with who she grew up in the South. And so she's been a couple times.
So it's theirs.
Yeah. So we have like some insider information. Good. But I'm so excited. It's the one benefit of the whole, like, you have to plan everything ahead of time is like now I'm just like, when we just kind of show up and do the plan. There's like some flexibility, but I don't have to worry about trying to wait in line for the Frozen ride. I already got my Fast Pass.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. So Tower of Terror is going away.
Yes.
Being replaced with Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. Now, before Tower of Terror, it used to be, it's now Twilight Zone themed, and it's been that way for...
it always has been.
Has it always been that way?
It's always been the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Like something else.
I'm like 90% sure it's always been the Twilight Zone.
You probably know more than me. Like, I didn't go to Disneyland until I was 18, which is a damn shame.
It's okay. You had to make up for lost time.
And I fell in love. But all right, so they're getting rid of Tower of Terror, replacing it with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
How does this make you feel?
It hurts. It hurts my soul. I understand it. And part of me is like, I'm so excited to get a Guardians of the Galaxy ride. That makes so much sense. That's such a property that lends itself to a ride in general, especially they're like very like on board with like using the soundtrack to like drive the tone of the ride, and I'm like, that'll be really fun. But I just wish they weren't taking away a classic. Tower of Terror is one of my absolute favorite rides, and they're keeping basically the same ride mechanics. So I mean, essentially, it's the same ride, it just looks different.
Yeah.
But
so I kind of fall on the side of this where I'm like, I am totally one of those guys that's like, don't change what I love.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Disneyland is only so much land.
Exactly.
And they can only add so much new shit. I mean, with Star Wars Land happening, that's taken up all the extra space they had.
Oh, right? Yeah. And because what they had to do is basically they purchased office space like a mile away. They purchased office space like a mile away to move all of their like backstage area to a different location, and that's what became Star Wars Land. So it's like where they used to like have the garages for like the fire truck and like for the parade stuff and all that kind of things that were just like in the surrounding areas is now moved to an offsite location where now that's becoming Star Wars Land, and they have a little bit extra for any future like expansion, which wouldn't be much, but there's a little bit of room. California Adventure, on the other hand, there's absolutely no room. They took it all up with Cars Land.
Yeah, exactly. And Cars Land is fantastic.
Oh my God, Cars Land is a million times better than it should be.
Right?
It's the best like use of a Disney property into a
world.
Oh God,
and
so
that gives me so much faith for Star Wars Land.
100%.
Because Cars, I enjoyed Cars 1 a lot more than I ever thought that I would.
It's fine.
And kids love that shit.
Oh yeah, it makes them the most money.
Bonkers over it. But it reminds me of the Chevron cars when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I was never a car guy. But like, there's something about talking cars that I could get behind.
It's like, oh, if they're gonna talk to me, I understand.
Then I'm kind of down.
Characters.
But yeah, I remember when I first saw Cars, I saw it in theaters, and I was just like, "There's no way I'm gonna like this." And I came out of it, I'm like, "That was really good."
Yeah.
Not great,
but it was
really
again,
good.
it's still better than it should be.
Yeah, absolutely. So then Cars Land, though, I was like, it more so than almost any other part of Disneyland. When you're in it, you're like, holy shit. Like,
it's so
it looks like there's
immersive.
mountains and waterfalls, and that the whole road is recreated so perfectly.
So immersive. It's insane.
And if they can do that for Star Wars,
that's what it's like. If they can do that with a property I give 0% about, a property like what they can do with a property I actually care about and love, I'm just so excited.
It's so exciting. And so with Space Mountain, right? So in Tomorrowland, there's Space Mountain, and then there's the Star Tours. And last year or I guess 2 years ago, before Episode 7 came out, they did the whole Season of the Force thing. They opened up the Path of the Jedi.
That's still a thing.
Like, R.I.P. Captain EO. You know.
Tragedy.
But I loved it because you walk around Tomorrowland and it's just Star Wars music playing and everything was Star Wars. And it's still pretty much that way.
Oh, it's still straight up. They have Season of the Force like banners up, like right when you walk into Tomorrowland, like over the little arches, it just says Season of the Force still. It's all the same thing.
So my question is, like, when we get to Star Wars Land, like, what are they gonna...
Have you looked at any of the concept art?
I've seen the concept art, but what are they gonna do with Tomorrowland?
I think it's going to go back to just being like the 50s version of the future. I think Star Tours is staying there because they have 2 other rides that are slotted to go to Star Wars Land. So I think Star Tours is like going to stay there, but I think it's just going to kind of go back to the way it was.
So this is all building towards something here.
Okay.
Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Undeniably my favorite ride. I love that thing. It is awesome. And there's something about just being in a roller coaster, all the lights off, and the music playing. Yeah. I'm just like, I'm sold. Yeah. When they added Star Wars to it and made it Hyperspace Mountain, I was like, all right, we've perfected
it's peak Disney
human ability at this point. Like we're good, right? So that is an example to me of a classic ride that I love, and I love the classic Space Mountain. Ghost Galaxy's fine.
It's fun to do it once during Halloween. Yeah.
But Hyperspace Mountain was just like the next level of it. That's why I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be okay.
I think I'm not worried about the ride at all. I think it'll be really fun.
Because it's sad to lose the Twilight Zone. But I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy.
I know, and I get it. The Twilight Zone is not a relevant property to most people. Like, I doubt most people even knew that it was a Twilight Zone. Yeah. Like, themed ride. It was just kind of spooky. It was kind of like creepy hotel.
And I like that there's going to be multiple variations on the ride. Who knows what that actually means? It's probably going to be some small little gimmicky thing.
One time you drop twice. The next time you go, you dropped 2.5 times. Yeah. That's totally different.
And it's like,
it's a different song.
But I'm okay with that though, because I feel like even I've been to Disneyland enough times where I'm like, all right, I don't need to do some of the things because there's no difference, right?
Exactly.
So when you do keep it changing up. I'm like, all right.
That's like the beauty of Star Tours, because Star Tours, it rotates every time now. So every time you go, you get a different like beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
It could always be, there's always a little something different. You're not going to ride the exact same order of events you rode last time.
Have they made it now so that even the first one randomizes, or is it still the episode 7 part always?
It's still the episode 7 part always for the first one, since
fine.
it's Season of the Forest.
Yeah.
But which is fun, but it's I mean, I kind of miss the randomization of every single part of it, but you still get like a random ending. Like, that's fun.
So besides Space Mountain, Jungle Cruise is my favorite thing of all time, because all it is bad jokes.
It's my favorite ride in the entire park.
It is my goal in life. One of the many, but it is one of my goals to be a skipper, and I want to give the Jungle Cruise tour. If anyone can make that happen, please reach out to me at Tim Gettys on Twitter. You'd be surprised at how much that works. Just being like, hey, can someone do something? And
can you please let me lead a Jungle Cruise tour? Yeah.
It's all I need. All I would ever want to accomplish.
You don't even need the script. Just recite it off memory.
Exactly.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's so good. But I like how they changed it up. Like recently, they just did like a reboot of it. I'm like, I'm not full reboot, but
it's like a
couple new jokes.
Yeah, they mix up the jokes every time. Each skipper has their like own way of doing it, which is fun. Like it's definitely, that one is a different ride based on literally who you get, because they could be like somebody who has like a very dry sense of humor and just delivers all the jokes like completely dry, or you can be somebody who's like super into it, super punny.
Yeah.
Like wants to just hit it hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like those.
They're
my favorites.
Yeah. They're more fun.
So my favorite other thing about Disneyland is the shows. So there is the fireworks and World of Color and Fantasmic are the main 3.
Yeah.
Right. Then we got the other things that people don't really know about, like Mickey's Magical Map.
Mickey's Magical Map is legit.
Shout out to Mickey's Magical Map. If you're hating, stop.
It's the only place in the park you can see Mulan, Pocahontas, Mulan again.
Yeah, they kill it.
And they're great.
Yeah.
You don't see Mulan just walking around the park. She's just got a show 3 times a day. She's out.
Yeah, and it's an awesome show. But what is your favorite of the big 3?
World of Color.
Okay.
Yeah, World of Color. I mean, fireworks are classic. You can't go wrong. But World of Color is like so big and encompassing. It's a spectacle every time. It's also the one they change the most often because...
And that's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of stuck. I love the fireworks, and I do think that the 60th anniversary fireworks were a fucking sight to behold, right? But you're right. Fireworks are fireworks, so it's like, all right, cool. World of Color is just so sick.
It's amazing.
But Fantasmic.
Fantasmic is...
There is nothing better than the last 3 minutes of Fantasmic.
Yeah.
It is just epic. Mickey coming out, fucking killing the dragon, being like, you're done, Maleficent. Yeah. You're done. And then the epic music plays and he does his little dance.
That's the spot on dance.
Yeah.
Boat comes out, everybody's on the boat.
Yeah, sometimes Dopey falls off.
Yep.
You see that video?
Yes.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's so perfect.
But I love that. But the problem with Fantasmic is that it has too much shit that isn't cool.
Yeah.
And
like I don't
like Fantasia stuff and
I don't need like the princesses when they like do the little boats around.
It's slow.
Yeah.
It's just too slow.
Yeah.
But the revamped Fantasmic for 2017, right? Is that right?
I believe so. When they reopen it.
We're in 2017 now.
It's still closed right now because everything kind of involving the rivers of America is shut down for construction of Star Wars Land. It's going to reopen this year with the new river path. So like the first completed thing of Star Wars Land is basically going to be like the mountains so that you don't see into it as you go down the river. And then they've shortened Tom Sawyer's Island and they're revamping the Fantasmic underneath.
I love that. I love it. I can't wait to see it because I think that a 2017 Fantasmic could take the cake for me. But I'm with you right now. World of Color is the best.
It's amazing. They change it every season, basically. There's like always like a new thing. They did a Lunar New Year version.
Really?
Yeah, where it had a whole new 5-minute opening in the beginning that was about like a baby lantern that got lost from its parents. It was just so good. There was Mulan. It was great.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Mulan coming back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you feel about the Mulan rumors of the movie not having music?
It's a bummer.
It's a damn bummer.
What is
all I want's I'll make a man out of you. That's it.
Like, there's definitely gonna be a scene where somebody just goes, "Let's get down to business," and then everybody's gonna cheer.
Yeah,
that's it. That's it.
So okay, man, we're jumping all around here.
That's fine.
Which is totally fine. To round out the Disney stuff though, let's finish our World of Color conversation. What is your favorite World of Color?
My favorite World of it's probably just the classic one.
The classic one is the best. It hasn't been beat yet.
No.
Like there are moments that are better. So the Christmas ones, I forgot what they call them.
Oh, I don't.
Winter Dreams or whatever.
Yeah.
They're so lame.
It's great the first time. The one they did this year, they made like a giant like Christmas tree out of the fountains that was like taller than anything I've ever seen in World of Color. That was really cool. But overall, it just doesn't have the same hit.
It doesn't.
The regular one you get the Wall-E thing is probably my favorite one, where they just kind of like scoot across the fan of water, and then you also get the stampede scene from Lion King,
which is too much. It's cheating.
It is.
The problem with that is
it's emotionally manipulative.
It's so manipulative. Like the moment where you get the stampede, all the water dies down, and then you just hear, "Dad." I'm like, "Fuck you." Fuck you.
You didn't have to do that. You did it on purpose.
And then the sad music starts playing, but then they do a good job of ramping it all up, and you see all the kisses and all the transformations and shit. I'm like, yeah, get it. Yeah. Oh, God. But the only good thing about the second World of Color was the Star Wars part.
Star Wars part was
where the fucking fire goes up, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, it was so cool.
Oh, it's just so good. So damn good.
I know. There's a Star Wars fireworks show in Disney World that I'm going to see.
The Chinese theater part of it, I think?
Yeah, like in the Hollywood,
the
Hollywood land.
Those guys.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Yeah, it's not.
No.
So, all right, moving on from Disneyland to just Disney. What do you think about this whole Disney cinematic universe that they're building with the live action movies?
I keep going back and forth because I like them. They're not necessary. It's just purely to make money, and I'm kind of okay with it because like I'll see them all.
Yeah.
And they're always enjoyable.
So, which ones have you seen?
I've seen Beauty and the Beast, Jungle Book, Pete's Dragon.
Okay.
What else have they done? Oh, I didn't see Maleficent. I think that's the only one I didn't see.
So
I saw
that's
Cinderella.
My thing, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, I've seen them all, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Jungle Book, which I hear is amazing.
Jungle Book's great.
I saw Beauty and the Beast, which I think was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't great and it wasn't bad. I think it did some things better than the cartoon and some things worse.
Yep.
Which is like, all right, well, why did you exist?
It's kind of a wash. It didn't change enough to warrant its own existence, and it changed the wrong things to be just more convoluted.
Yeah. And like certain things just didn't feel as much of a spectacle. Like Be Our Guest, I was like,
I've heard a lot of people complain about that.
It was just not, it felt off.
It felt a little dark.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't have the like wow factor to it. Although shout out to Ewan McGregor.
He killed it.
And he is
his weird fake French accent.
Yeah, I'll take it. There was the Alice in Wonderland movies.
Oh yeah, I saw the first one, didn't see the second one.
Yeah, the first one I was like,
I'm fine with that.
And then the second I'm good.
Yeah.
Maleficent was again good, but it was so focused on the Maleficent side.
But like at least with that, it's warning its own existence because it's telling a different side of the story. It's something you can't see from just going back and watching Sleeping Beauty.
But I feel like it almost like ruined Sleeping Beauty in a way where it's like it made the Sleeping Beauty side less interesting.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, it's not.
It's a boring movie to begin with. I was like, it's already not great.
So that's why I think that there's an interesting thing they can do here, which is fix a lot of the problems that these other movies had. Because especially the older movies, because everyone thinks, oh, Disney musical. So many of them are not musicals.
No.
Especially the older ones, they just had songs in them.
Yeah, they had like a song or two.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, we can fix the thing here and there. And then there was Pete's Dragon was pretty good.
I loved Pete's Dragon. That was, I think, my favorite Disney adaptation so far because I think it did something different, and it wasn't just a shot. It wasn't just a shot-for-shot remake, and it had its own point of view. It didn't necessarily feel like a Disney movie.
Exactly. I think that it's important for them to be rebooting these movies because when you have those franchises, right? Yeah. You can just bring them out of the vault every 10 years and DVD, Blu-ray.
Yeah, every time there's a new format.
Whatever it is, just put it out. But it's like, I think that there's something about keeping it relevant for the kids growing up now.
Yeah.
So that they have this Beauty and the Beast and the old Beauty and the Beast, and they can see both of them and kind of, I think it adds to the Disneyland allure in a lot of ways, right? And especially when they're doing as well as they are financially. Like,
oh yeah, it builds the magic.
Exactly. Yeah. It allows more shit to happen so they can buy more land and eventually buy all of Los Angeles and just say, fuck it.
Yeah, we don't need Orange County. They
I've
already got rid of all the oranges.
For years. Yeah, they did. They still got the smell when you do Soarin'. Oh, no, they don't.
They took that out. It's Soarin' Over the World now. There's no more oranges. The smells aren't the same. That's one of the changes that kind of hurts.
They fucked that up. Soarin' Over California was one of the greatest rides of all time. Yeah. Soarin' the World is lame as fuck with the worst transitions. And why Is the Taj Mahal CG?
I don't know.
There's so many. So there's places you're not allowed to film.
Yeah.
Then why do you film?
Yeah, do something
choose
else.
somewhere else.
Just do something else.
Oh
You don't
my
need
God.
it. Yeah.
It's so upsetting.
It's weird. It's just like, it's not, I just miss it.
Yeah.
Why doesn't everybody else just want to fly over California? Why does the rest of the world not want to just visit us?
I just don't fucking get it. Cool, Greg. Can you get me another one of these? I appreciate that. Did you? No, you're good.
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, what else do you want to talk about?
Dude, I don't know. I forgot what we were talking Disneyland, soaring over the world. Got it.
We talk about everything. But okay, so let's talk about you a bit more. So you do your podcast,
Correct.
a few beers in.
Yes.
You do writing for comedy stuff and all
Yes.
that. You also have been doing a little bit of stand-up comedy here and there.
A little bit, yes.
What is that experience like? Because I've been watching a lot of stand-up specials on Netflix and HBO.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Dave Chappelle ones?
I still haven't watched the Dave Chappelle ones. Good.
So-
I've heard mixed feelings.
So here's
and
my thing.
that's why I haven't watched it yet, because I'm scared.
Here's my thing. Like, there's two of them.
Yeah.
The first one in LA is 10 out of 10 fantastic.
Perfect.
The second one, it's kind of not that good. And it's weird. Such a step down.
The second one's in
production-wise.
Austin?
Austin, yeah. It was at Austin City Limits.
Okay.
And it just didn't look that good. Like, it was like kind of off, and the jokes just. The first one was like never hilariously funny,
Yeah.
but it was so well crafted and told such a good story that I'm like, that's what this should be about. You know?
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm proud of you because you're putting yourself out there and actually doing it. It's my job to kind of sit at this table and make shitty jokes,
Yeah.
and people listen to them and laugh or don't laugh, and I don't really know because they're on
You
the
don't
other
have
side of the
to. You don't
screen.
have to face them. Yeah.
Or when we do something like Kind of Funny Live, it's literally I just get to do whatever I want.
Because they came there to see you. They're
Exactly.
excited about you
It's a
being
bit
there.
different, right?
Yeah.
You are going in front of people that don't necessarily want to like you.
No, they don't want to see me at all.
And you're making jokes, trying to elicit a response out of them.
Yeah.
What is that like?
I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking at first, especially like
Get up on there.
the LA open mic scene it's not the friendliest place in the world. It's, in my mind, I feel like open mics should be a little more welcoming because everybody there is there to go up and do their 5 minutes and like tell their jokes. Wouldn't you want everybody else to be warm and recepting to you so that you get laughs, as opposed to everybody there being like kind of negative and being like, if somebody else does good, that for some reason that affects me doing good.
Yeah.
When it's really the opposite. There's a reason, like when you go to a stand-up show or something, or you go to anything, there's warm up, so everybody is like happy and excited and is more likely to laugh. So shouldn't everybody be building each other up so that everybody laughs and has a good time?
But do you feel like you when it is that harsh that you kind of get a better idea of what works and what doesn't? Or is it so negatively skewed that it kind of just
It's
ruins
like it's almost, sometimes some rooms can be that way where it's so negatively skewed that even people that are killing, like you can tell when people are stifling laughter.
So more often than not, is there more comedians in the room?
Yes,
than
100%. Nobody's like, we should see a comedy show tonight. I'll go to an open mic to see people practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's not fun.
Okay. So have you only done open mics, or have you done something that's more of an actual show?
I've done a couple like actual shows I've been booked on. The most recent one, I did a show called Personally Speaking, which you can listen to the podcast on iTunes, episode 14, Breaking the Rules.
So what is Personally Speaking? Because I listened to this episode and I enjoyed it a lot. But what is that show? Because it's pretty interesting.
That's more of a storytelling show. So it's basically a variety of comedians and people from the industry, or even people outside of the industry, telling
The
funny
industry
stories.
being LA.
Yeah,
not video games.
I forgot where I was for a minute. The entertainment industry in general, basically. And so there is more a comedian aspect of it, but it's straight up storytelling as opposed to stand up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you told a very depressing story,
Yeah,
which is kind of par for the course when it comes to you.
it's kind of the brand.
So your whole brand, like in the same way that my girlfriend Gia's brand is red wine, and pretty much exclusively, to the point that anytime anyone sees the word wine or like sees a
Just
wine
forwards
bottle,
it right to her.
they'll just
Yep.
like tweet at her immediately. Like your whole brand is I'm alone in my car crying.
Yeah.
Like that is the punchline of most.
of most tweets and jokes.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's something about it that's endearing.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you've crafted that style of humor in a unique way
Thank
that
you.
never feels samey, even though it is the same.
yeah.
But it's like you apply it to so many different type of situations that like I always get a kick out of it.
Thanks. Like sad girl isn't like the most original thing, but it works when it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your plan then?
In general, still kind of testing out the stand-up thing, seeing if I like really do fall in love with it. Right now I'm enjoying it a lot, and I feel like I'm learning and building on that skill and seeing kind of where that goes, and then focusing on writing and my little podcast and keeping me busy.
Cool.
Doing the things, doing the stuff.
I got a question for you about my favorite subject in the world.
Shoot.
Which is me.
Yeah.
So when we first met, I was still at IGN, right? And you were one of the first people, I would say, actually, you were probably the first person that I met at a time where I knew my time at IGN was running out.
Yeah.
And Kind of Funny was the inception of it was happening, right? When I met you, I don't even know if the GameOverGreggy show existed or not at that time.
I don't
But
remember.
it might have been just ramping up for it. Like, if I have my timeline right, we were doing conversation with Colin and all that. Because we met at Comic-Con and we started, which is in July, we started doing GameOverGreggy show in November. So that's probably it.
It was like right in between there. That was like the main chunk of time.
So it was gearing up towards that. And so you heard a lot of my kind of dealing with all of that.
You were a little sad.
It was interesting, like dealing with the IGN side of things and like, you know, me trying to do all this different stuff and them holding me back from doing that in certain ways. And again, shout out to IGN. I love them. But it was stifling, and you know, I wasn't able to just.
I wasn't the right fit.
Hang out with my friends and drink beers and talk about Disneyland, you know.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the goal for anybody.
Not bad at all.
But then then you kind of saw me start to do this. It started to take off in a weird way and start to become a thing. And then I invited you to come up to Kind of Funny Live 1.
Yes.
And you were like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. And at that point, like, I didn't even know what that was going to be.
No, I had no idea. I was just like, sure, that sounds, I'm like, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
When I invited you, it was months before we even planned the show. I just knew we were doing it. And then you came and saw it. What was that experience like? Because it went from, there was a period of time where me and you weren't talking all that often.
Yeah.
Just because we were busy and doing other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I invite you to the show. You show up.
I didn't really get a grasp of it because I'm not as involved in that corner of the internet. There's like little glimpses I get.
Really weird corner.
I can tell. So I kind of knew that this was taking off, and I was like super proud. I was like, oh my God, like doing what you want to do. And then you invited me to come up, and I was like, sure, I want to see what this is all about. And I had no idea what to expect. I was genuinely surprised, like not in a negative way.
Go for it.
But genuinely surprised. We got there like maybe like a half hour before, and there was a line down the block, and I was genuinely like, am I in the right place?
Yeah, no, we were shocked too. I'll never forget that.
Genuinely surprised.
So what was cool about that, you were there for what is probably the most important moment for Kind of Funny, where we realized like, oh shit. Like, this is a real
You can
thing.
only tell so much with like internet interaction.
And we've had PAX panels and like Comic-Con panels and just random things like that.
But there's another reason for people to be there. And then it's like you're also there too. Even if they have just like a little bit of an interest, be like, oh, I should go see those guys.
Yeah.
This is different. They're coming just for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we walked in, there was a whole stage that was our stage, and like our logo was everywhere. Like, it was a weird experience. And like, I'll never forget, Greg Miller at the end of the show was like, hey, to the 400 people in this room, it's never going to be like this again. Like, this is the beginning of this blowing up. Yeah. And then last year we did Kind of Funny Live 2, which you couldn't make it to.
I couldn't. I was out of town.
Some marriage or something.
Yeah, I was in Seattle for a wedding.
Yeah. Kind of Funny Live 3, June 3rd. You got to make it happen.
Yeah.
But you've seen videos of Kind of Funny Live 2.
The next time we hung out after Kind of Funny Live 2, you literally pulled out your phone and you're like, you have to see this. And just like, he's like, you're not gonna believe me. Yeah. And then I was like, sure. And it was just straight up video, like 3 different videos of you crowd surfing onto the stage.
That's what I do.
You got to get all the angles.
You need all the angles.
So you can understand the scope.
But I just love it because, like I said, you are probably the only person that I met outside of that group that was there at that time, that saw me go through that transition. So I'm like extra proud to show you all this stuff because it's always like, hey, look, no, I did it. I actually did it.
Even just coming here today, I'm just like,
I mean, isn't this weird being here? You didn't
weird.
even see the old studio.
No.
And when I say studio, I mean corner of a spare bedroom in a small apartment.
Hey, it did the job.
Yeah, it totally did.
This is legit. This is cool.
So moving on from me, what movies have you seen recently?
Oh my God. I have to talk to you about this because I saw Power Rangers this weekend.
Hell yes, you did.
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I really liked it.
Yes, you did.
I
Power
really
Rangers
liked it.
in theaters now. What's your relation to the franchise?
I mean, like I was Kimberly for Halloween 2 years in a row.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it hits deep.
So I love Power Rangers. Watched it for way too long.
That's not surprising.
All the way through In Space, which is
shit.
season 7 technically. Because Mighty Morphin was three seasons.
Well, it was the first 3 years. Yeah.
And it goes that, and then Zeo, Turbo, Space. I did all of that. Wait.
I don't know if impressed is the right word.
I guess 6. I was only 6. Okay, I'm not that crazy.
7 would be just out there.
But watching this movie, I went in, I knew what I was getting because watching the trailers, I was like,
the trailer gives it's fine.
And I'm not one of those, oh, you ruined my childhood guys. Like I can understand that like my childhood is what it is and this is what we're getting and whatever. But I watched, I'm like, oh shit, this is pretty. It's good. Yeah. Not amazing, not great, not even really good. Just
no,
it's good.
It's good. It does the job, and it's more importantly to me. I'm like, it wasn't bad. That was all I wanted. I wanted it to be not bad.
All I wanted was for them to have the theme song, and they did it. And I literally, I jumped out of my seat.
I genuinely gasped in a half-empty movie theater.
Yeah. Oh, really? Ours was full, and it was.
I saw it
opening night. So.
I saw it like middle of the day Saturday.
I'm so happy that it's doing well financially. Because I'm like, oh shit, they can make 6
sequels. They're gonna make
they have 6 sequels.
I know, like
5 sequels planned. That ain't gonna happen.
Oh no! But at least
no. We'll get one more, maybe 2.
You'll get.
You think we'll get the trilogy?
I think we'll get 3 because I think the second one will do well enough, but I don't think it'll be as good. And then the third one will be garbage because that's how I think. I think we'll get 3.
My thing is, if Ninja Turtles isn't even getting a third, I don't think we'll get a third Power Rangers.
Yeah, but Ninja Turtles didn't have. This is at least getting somewhat good reviews. Now it's not all garbage. Ninja Turtles was straight out of the gate. Everybody hated it. I
guess that's true.
Yeah. So
this one, at least people are like, huh?
Yeah.
It was okay.
It's surprising people.
Yeah.
I mean, all I really wanted was Breakfast Club Power Rangers, and that's what I was given.
I mean, I didn't know I wanted that. And then I got it, and I'm like, oh, shit.
It was great.
Yeah. And my favorite, what's ironic to me is that the third part of the movie, like the third, the whole final battle was like my least favorite part. Like the part that they got from when they get their suits on, that's when I'm like, this is not a good Power Rangers movie. But like the first 2/3, I was like, huh.
Yeah, it works. And they cut out the one thing that I was genuinely upset about in the trailer, which is when Kimberly and Jason kiss.
Because fuck that shit.
No.
That is not, I'm so happy you caught that. I walked out of the movie theater and I was just like, oh, they cut that thing from the trailer where they kissed. I'm like, did they? I'm like, yeah, no, trust me. Because when I saw the trailer, I was fucking livid.
I was genuinely upset because I also didn't want them to reduce Kimberly's storyline to being Jason's love interest.
Exactly. And they didn't by cutting that scene, but still having the rest of the scene, they made it about her. Yep. Not about, oh, now the guy gets the girl and it's good to go.
It's not like her being vulnerable so that he has a moment. It's literally her like coming to realizations with like what she's done so that they can all morph.
Yes. And then they morphed. And it was fucking, he walked up and he said, it's morphin' time. And then they fucking morphed.
It happened.
Yeah, but what didn't happen was the like roll call.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't have found a way to make him scream the dinosaur names. I feel like you could have done that, you know?
There's probably, I mean, it was probably shot.
My problem is I don't think it was. And like, I'll give it to them though for including at least part of the theme song. Yeah. Because no other franchise has done that.
Oh, I genuinely didn't expect it.
And it's upsetting to me because when you look at these classic 80s and 90s properties, when they made movies in the 80s and 90s, they went all in. The 95 Power Ranger movie.
Oh my God.
Like that had the theme song, like a rock version. The 1984 Transformers movie had the theme song. Like, why nowadays do they not do that? Even if it's like an orchestral updated version of it. Like Ninja Turtles didn't, Transformers didn't.
I mean, they did it with Ghostbusters.
I guess you're right.
They did it with Ghostbusters.
They did it with Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that would... I mean, I liked it.
I guess you're right. But the thing is, there's a difference with Ghostbusters, though, where I think the Ghostbusters song...
Yeah, has a life of its own. It's almost a separate property from Ghostbusters, the movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the Ghostbusters song kind of is that property, and then there's the rest of it.
Yeah.
Whereas like these things have so many different iterations.
True.
But it's like, I could never imagine an X-Men movie that didn't use the X-Men theme song, and then they made 13 of them. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why did no one go, you know what? We should get an orchestra together and let's just fucking do it.
Yep.
One day. Maybe one day.
No, I'm sure not.
Yeah.
Were the X-Men one? No, that's not going to happen.
I mean, they're going to have to reboot X-Men at some point.
Oh, yeah, true. I mean, it's
Again,
around the corner.
kind of.
Yeah. They tried.
God.
They tried.
I believed in them so much too. Like,
But Logan was good.
oh, Logan's great.
But it took so long to get there.
Yeah, it really did.
The payoff isn't worth it when it's like 12 movies that are just like
Almost. I mean,
some are good. So X2 is good.
Let's go through. All right. X-Men.
Decent.
For its time, good. But now forgettable and hokey, right?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. X2. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm all
It gets it right.
about X2. X-Men 3 Last Stand.
It's one of like I mean I used to think it was the worst X-Men title. I mean it's not anymore, I don't think. I think that. And
then X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That's all. I also genuinely forget that movie exists.
Oh, but
I've kind of blocked it out of my memory.
Then, and I might be getting some order wrong, but First Class, which was like,
First Class was good.
You can do something with this. This is good. Days of Future Past. No?
I didn't like it.
Oh my God, I loved it.
I didn't like it. It was fine, but I didn't like. It was okay.
My thing is, I feel like I gave it bonus points because it did so much that I like, right? Like it nailed here's hella heroes with hella different powers. This feels like a comic book movie. Like it felt like reading Joss Whedon's run on on the comic.
Yeah, I see that.
But it also still tried being serious in a way.
Yeah,
it took it out. But I also appreciate that it solved the timeline problem.
Yeah, that's the best part of it, is it just kind of like just giving that reveal, and it just makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. And then there was Wolverine.
Wolverine was good. Yeah, whatever.
It was like, okay, it was fine.
It was better than Origins.
Way better.
That was my requirement for that movie. Yeah. Better than Origins.
And then after that there was
Apocalypse.
And there was Apocalypse.
Worst X-Men movie.
You think?
I mean, it's like, I think that's going a little far. I go back and forth. I don't know. It was one of those ones I went into it with a negative vibe. So that's probably like a little bit on me. But I went into it with a negative vibe and then it disappointed me from there. And so I was just like, I'm done.
I think I still haven't even finished it. I'm halfway through and I've been watching it in chunks.
I watched it like a year later.
Oh yeah. It's like, but yeah, I also heard so much bad things about it. But I think that it's the opposite of Days of Future Past to me, where I give that one bonus points for getting things right. I give Apocalypse like minus bonus points because it's like, well, you fucked everything up. Like, hey, no, they fixed things. Why are you ruining
that again?
So that's all bad. And then Deadpool.
Okay. Deadpool is a great Deadpool movie. I just hate Deadpool.
Why?
Because I'm not a white man.
Oh my God.
Deadpool's so boring. I mean, it's so...
I love him.
Deadpool, I really liked the Deadpool short before Logan. Because Deadpool to me is perfect in, like, if it was a short, like, 12-minute, like, Deadpool movie. Just like a 12-minute Deadpool short. I'm all about that. Once I get, like, a half hour into a Deadpool movie, I'm just kind of like, I get it.
Oh, man.
I get so tired of the gimmicks so fast because it doesn't do anything for me. It's funny. The jokes are funny. And it was a great Deadpool movie. It's just I hate Deadpool, the character.
That's fair. I feel like I'm kind of on the other end of that where I love Deadpool as a character and I love that what it kind of allows you to do. But it forces people to think outside the box to do something good, or else it is kind of samey and just like cookie cutter. Like I'm making jokes and being wacky, you know. But I feel like the movie did a good job of not falling into that too much because I agree that like a short could be the best thing for the character. Yeah. But like I think the movie did a good job of fleshing it out and making it interesting enough because they never went too far into the fourth wall breaking. Yeah. It was just enough that it was like, all right, cool. You're not beating me over the head with this.
Exactly. It's a great Deadpool movie. I just can't, I personally can't deal with the character that long. I just can't do it. I get so bored of it.
And so I guess, after Deadpool. No, it was Deadpool and then Apocalypse. We were
we're wrong. That was disappointing.
Yeah, wow. And then
Logan. Logan was great. The best one. That's fine.
Good. Yeah, that's exciting. And we got Star Wars coming up.
Oh my God.
You're going to be in the room.
I'm going to be in the room with the trailer.
And
that gives me so many feelings. I have my BB-8 necklace on.
How we went an hour without you mentioning BB-8?
Because I have some self-control. It's not the only thing I talk about. It's the only thing I think about.
your life in a nutshell.
BB-8 is just like, I've never related to a character like I do that little rolly droid.
Yeah. No, you've cosplayed as it.
I've cosplayed BB-8. I have
bought all the merchandise.
I have 12 BB-8s now, I think, in my home. That
in
sounds
the same
about
way
right.
when people see wine and think Gia, when I see BB-8s, I think you.
My brand is coffee, beer, sad, BB-8.
Yeah. No, I mean, nailed it.
Down to 4 words.
Yeah.
No, I'm the biggest thing. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Celebration. I'm gonna meet the real BB-8.
Oh my, that is a chance that might.
That could happen. A friend of a friend knows Oscar Isaac, and they told me that at one point. And genuinely, my first thought was just like, he worked with the real BB-8.
He worked with the real BB-8.
Which is like, that's not. I understand it is a person controlling a mechanical object, but like that's the real BB-8.
Yeah. No.
They're coworkers.
Well, Mal, I think that's a great way to end the show. Thank you for joining us. Where can people find you?
On Twitter at Maliv. Everything else, Mal S. Smith. I know. And then you could always follow my podcast. Rate and review us on iTunes. Just subscribe. Do all the fun stuff.
Do
it's
anything,
a few beers in, and at least for my podcast.
A few beers in.
At least for my podcast, we have every handle a few beers in.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah. So that's on everything.
Well, this is fun. This has been years in the making. Yeah. Literally.
Like genuinely.
I can't wait to go to Disneyland with you again at some
point.
One day. In the future.
I mean, we're there. It's like we're there right now.
Well, that's
we're here right now.
I like to even say if you close your eyes.
I know. I stopped. I'm like,
that's. You need to keep your eyes open. That's the only way that we're at Disneyland.
That's the only thing. I stopped myself. I realized the issue.
Until next time.